Now, the real truth is you don't have to smoke DMT with Joe Rogan in order to activate your third eye and have a transcendental experience. I'm going to give you Dr. Joe Dispenza's most powerful technique in order to decalcify it, activate your pineal gland, and do exactly that. I've had an incredible natural experience doing this. I'm going to share that with you as well. And I'm going to give you the scientific proof so you can't dismiss this as new age or some mumbo jumbo. Now, if that sounds good to you, welcome back to the video. If you're new here, thanks for being here. If you're a returner, thanks for coming back. Hit the subscribe button right over there and the bell notification. Give me a like if you enjoy this video, and check out my free success hypnosis. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's pinned to the comments and in the description. 1.3 million people from all over the world have used it. It's my free success hypnosis to reprogram your subconscious mind so you can attract what you want quicker, faster, and easier. It's jakeshypnosis.com. Now, I just want to say before we dive into it, I wasn't making fun of Joe Rogan smoking DMT, and I'm not making fun of ancient cultures that have done this for thousands of years with ayahuasca or peyote or other substances. I was just joking, trying to be funny. I have had actually the most powerful experience of my entire life doing it naturally. So I'm going to share with you a technique to do that, and I'm going to tell you this crazy story about how it happened to me all naturally. I've also smoked DMT in the past, and I've done ayahuasca. And I can say from my own experience, I had a much more significantly profound experience doing it naturally. That isn't to say that these can't be quite beneficial. There's great organizations like Rhythmia, but I want to say I'm not condoning going out and doing one of these substances on your own and booking a trip down to the Amazon with something you found online. I have a friend that have actually had a terrible experience like that, and they ended up having to get psychiatric treatment. And so I want to say that there is a quicker, easier, and safer way to do that, and that's naturally. And I'm going to share with you my story and Dr. Dispenza's technique. Now that all that's out of the way, warning, disclaimer, you probably heard of DMT before. It's short for N-dimethyltryptamine. It's the most powerful hallucinogen known to mankind. Maybe you've heard of Joe Rogan or Mike Tyson talk about smoking DMT and how it changed their lives. I've actually never even admitted that I've tried it in a video before because I know you can do it naturally too. But DMT is a substituted tryptamine that occurs naturally in plants, animals, and human beings. And then it's used as a recreational psychedelic drug prepared by various cultures for thousands of years for spiritual and ceremonial purposes. And a lot of people have used it to get off addictions to other substances. But what people don't know is DMT is actually stored naturally in the pineal gland of the human brain. Pineal gland is a real location. It's right next to the thalamus and hypothalamus in the brain. I only show you this because sometimes people actually think it is bullshit. Like, pineal gland, okay. But here it is right here, next to the thalamus and hypothalamus. Now, what's crazy is it actually gets calcified over a period of time, which also sounds like it's bullshit. So here is, and pardon the little bit graphic, this is an actual human pineal gland. You can see this white stuff right here. This is calcification. So your pineal gland gets calcified. This is a more detailed X-ray brain scan where you can see the human pineal gland is totally covered in these little crystals. They're actually calcification. And this calcification actually blocks or lowers the vibrational frequency of the cells in your pineal gland. And this stops you from activating higher spiritual energy. So if you can decalcify it, which is what this Dr. Joe Dispenza technique I'm going to share with you is, you can activate it and have very profound spiritual experiences. Now, for all you fact checkers out there that think this is spiritual misinformation, pause, repeat the line. I want to show you a brain scan of different human brains and the calcification on the pineal gland. And what you can see here is in A, there is no white dot at the center. That means there is no calcification on this particular pineal gland in the human brain. If you want to see a close-up right here, you can see there is legitimately calcification that shuts down kinetic or potential energy in the cells of your body. Everything that I'm saying to you was even reviewed by medical DO Melinda Rattini from the editorial review team at WebMD. And even the mainstream medical website actually states, and I quote here exact words, "The pineal gland develops calcium deposits known as calcification. Unlike most of your brain, the blood-brain barriers don't fully protect the pineal gland from the rest of the body. Instead, the pineal gland receives an insignificant amount of blood flow, second only to your kidneys." So think about it again. This is the calcification right here, and it basically shuts down the kinetic energy of your pineal gland. And Dr. Joe Dispenza is one of the experts in the world on the pineal gland and brain. And he says that in order to understand this best, look at the calcification just like tiny little crystals, like we showed you in the picture here. The reason that it's important to have this context is because when I bring you into this guided meditation technique, you can start to imagine it in this way. And the danger of this, according to Dispenza, is that if it becomes too calcified, the pineal gland is unable to produce appropriate amounts of melatonin and the all holy grail, Joe Rogan's favorite molecule, DMT. And so the reason that this technique is very important is because it has been proven in Dispenza's brain scan research that you can decalcify it and you can actually activate it in significant ways that allow you to have a spiritual experience without smoking it or without taking ayahuasca. And in his book, Supernatural, Dispenza says that when the pineal gland does become activated, it's kind of like a radio receiver emitting new electrical signals. So basically just imagine the calcification shuts down the kinetic energy of the cells in your pineal gland, just like if you have a TV antenna in your house and it broke and it wouldn't be receiving or transmitting the light energy that projects a moving picture of light waves onto the screen. But you wouldn't describe it like that, right? You would just say, "Hey bro, the TV's broken." But if we fix the TV antenna and then we start to receive and transmit new frequency patterns of energy, then we can start to create detailed pictures on the TV screen again. And that's why the pineal gland has been called the third eye, because it works the same way. This increased energy translates into having a really profound imagery and spiritual experience and inner vision that often feels more real than the outside world in which we live. And I just want to share before I drop into this technique how I use this, because I mentioned earlier that I've done it naturally in a much more powerful way. I was doing a 14-day silent meditation in Thailand, actually, and I had an experience that was so powerful, I left my physical body entirely, and I was in an astral realm, a spiritual realm, and I saw the whole vision for my life. And I was 19 years old, I dropped out of college, and I got this vision that I was gonna write a book about my travels. I saw it chapter by chapter, the exact layout of the book. I saw that I was gonna be coming back and writing books, making YouTube videos, speaking all over the world, running events for high school, college kids, all of this stuff, I saw it, even though I had never consciously imagined it before that moment. And in this experience, the consciousness or my spiritual guides or my subconscious mind or the universe, whatever, it told me this is exactly what you're gonna do. Now, when you end this meditation, you're gonna go home, start writing this book, do all this stuff. And basically, I was able to have that vision available to me as an inner guide that helped me navigate my life, where 10 years later, I published 3 books, they were translated into other languages, they got picked up by Penguin Random House, this YouTube channel almost has 1 million subscribers, all this awesome stuff happened, but it all began with this inner vision before I'd ever used a psychedelic substance anyways, and I wanted to share that so you know how powerful this is naturally. So no more blabbing, let's get right into this. So Dispenza says to think about the same muscles that you would use for elimination in the human body, right? And you want to lift those muscles up everywhere from your abdomen to your pelvic floor. And you want to engage these because this is the lower energy center of the human body. And when you engage this, the spine, which is really just a pipeline of energy, you can actually transmit energy through your base energy centers, through your spine to the crown, where you can basically open up your consciousness, and that's where you have access to higher spiritual realms, the astral realm, etc. And so the way that he recommends to do this is inhaling through your nose while you contract those muscles. And then you couple that together by pulling that energy up through your spine to the top of your head. So if you took your finger and you place it on the top of your head and you kind of just like work your fingernail right into there, and then you take it away, so now you have a place where you can focus your attention. So you're bringing that energy from the base, and as you're inhaling and exhaling, it's expanding through that area at the top of your head. So you close your eyes and you inhale in and out the exact same way every time. As you get into a rhythm, you contract all these muscles from your abdomen to your pelvic floor. And then you imagine this energy moving through your entire body. And I recommend that you do this with some type of shamanic drumming. You can just go on YouTube and you can find a cool shamanic drumming meditation, because it allows you to drop into that desired frequency easy. Now, the way that I did this when I was doing the silent meditation is I sat down. I recommend, if possible, you actually sit in a meditation pose. You go outside, you go under a tree, you could sit on your comfy couch in a meditation pose, whatever actually makes you feel good. And you inhale, and as you inhale, you contract all that, and you imagine the energy moving through your abdomen, up your spine, and each time you're having a burst or an exhale of that energy. The way that I did this, and this is kind of my addition to Dispenza's, is once I feel like I'm getting out of my mind and I'm feeling much more aware of energy, I imagine as I'm seeing more energy in my third eye, and as I'm activating all those crystalline structures in my pineal gland, I'm activating that dormant kinetic energy. I imagine almost like there's a cloud of energy, and I'm projecting my consciousness onto that cloud of energy. So I'm disassociating from my physical body and I'm moving my consciousness onto this cloud of energy. And every time that I would lose it, or I would start thinking about something, or I would lose that image, then I would just go right back to my breath again, inhale, contract everything, seeing it, all that energy moving through my head, exhaling, seeing that cloud, and I restart the process. And eventually what happened for me is I was able to get onto that cloud of energy, which basically took me into a higher level of consciousness, the astral realm, whatever you want to call it. And I was able to look back on my physical body. There was another energy presence there. It could have been God, it could be my subconscious mind. If you're more spiritual, you might call it like a spiritual guide. If you're more religious, you might call it an angel. But let's just call it God or ultimate consciousness, because there's only one consciousness here. And I was in that subconscious field. And in that subconscious field, the energy said to me all of those things from the vision. So once you get into that process of feeling that energy activating, you can imagine moving up on this cloud where you can enter a transcendental realm. Now, I just want to say it really is as simple as that. Now, the Jim Rohn quote that's so famous is, "What's easy to do is easy not to do." Because once you're doing this naturally, what it involves is consistency. In the same way that if you want to run a mile in 7 minutes, you have to have consistency with your running. It's the same way with this. So start with 5 minutes every day. Once you start to break through, you move to 10, 15. And what'll happen is you're gonna slowly or quickly start to activate all of this calcified crystalline structure on your pineal gland, and you're gonna actually activate dormant kinetic energy. Then one day, especially if you use that imagery of the cloud, you're gonna have a total transcendental experience that occurs. And it's a simple process, breathing in and out on each inhale, contracting down from your pelvic floor to your abdomen, visually imagining that energy moving up through your spine, and projecting that energy out through the top of your head, the top of your consciousness, through your third eye. and you just keep breathing in and out the exact same way. So if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button on it. Let me know in the comments right there down below. I tried to make this as scientific and beneficial as humanly possible. So if you enjoy these videos, be sure to let me know in the comments, subscribe, bell notification, and check out my free success hypnosis. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's my free success hypnosis to reprogram your subconscious mind so you can attract what you want quicker, faster, and easier.